Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Someone has to pay, and that is you and I, eventually. And I'm talking about the war in Ukraine that occurs between NATO countries, or the United States and the vassal states, and Russia. Someone has to produce things, and someone has to take a fall. I have an article here coming from Ukrinform. It's a study, and it's a very gloomy study coming in a time when Germany is under pressure to provide Ukraine with Leopard 2 tanks. And this study analyzes how much money will Germany lose this year if the war in Ukraine continues as it does. So let's get going with this article here. This article comes from Ukrinform, actually, from Tuesday, the 24th of January 2023, because over there is already tomorrow. But this is actually right here from Ukrinform, Menaf FM. And this is the title. War in Ukraine will cost Germany 175 billion euros this year, study found. So will cost Germany. Why should it cost Germany a war in another country? Well, I will explain, but let's first read this article. The war in Ukraine will cost the German economy 175 billion euros in 2023. Good luck. That's according to the Cologne Institute for Economic Research, Ukrinform reports. And I'm quoting, the war in Ukraine and all the economic threats associated with it will cost around 175 billion euros in added value. Adjusted for prices, this corresponds to around 4.5% of GDP, the study reads. So from Germany's GDP. Well, I would gladly take the 175 billion euros and put it in an unfreezing bank account or turn it in gold or something. According to the report, or turn it into a real estate. But I will kill you with taxes and I will take it back from you. According to the report, this corresponds to a loss of prosperity of 2,000 euros per inhabitant of Germany. So you're going to have 2,000 euros less this year, plus the inflation, I'm guessing, and other things. So, in the past 3 years, Germans have had to accept enormous losses in prosperity, as the calculations show. The pandemic year 2020 already saw a loss of value added of 175 billion euros as a result of lockdowns and uncertainty. So I guess you're going to be used with 175. It seems like it's your magic number here. In 2021, there was another GDP loss of 125 billion euros. For 2022, losses are likely to have amounted to almost 120 billion euros. In total, the production losses will add up to 595 billion euros by the end of 2023. That's about 600 billion euros by the end of 2023. Remember, this article is presented by, not by me, but by Ukrinform. Ukrinform is a Ukrainian media outlet. But you know they're going to aim to blame everything on Russia somewhere. This article, I'm guessing, otherwise I don't see how this will be still around. Germany is still in a crisis mode as the pandemic crisis has turned into a crisis of the Russian war in Ukraine. At the same time, experts identified various war-related problems. Among them are danger in the field of energy. We're going to talk about that. In particular, the threat of disruptions and emergencies in critical infrastructure, high cost not only for electricity and gas, but also for upstream services and raw materials, which threatens competitiveness. As a result, when in doubt, companies decide against planned investments. At the same time, the situation is also having a negative effect on buyers. Private households are asking for fewer goods. And I'm quoting again, the situation is still very fragile. The exceptional situation will keep us busy in the coming months and will weigh on prosperity, end quote, said IW economist Michael Gremling. Okay, Mr. Gremling, thank you for letting us know. And now it's our turn to talk about it. So, Mr. Gremling had some gloomy numbers for us. Now, let's see what the causes are. Let's say Germany would not have moved a finger when two countries fight. And let's say Germany would have not been pushed and grabbed by the back of the neck and thrown into the whole Russia hysteria by the boss. And let's say nobody would have blown Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines. Hey, by the way, what happened with those ones? Are still investigating? Zzz, ping, cling, ding, 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 clonk. Yep, they're still investigating. It's been what? I think it's October, November, December, January. Oh my. We will not be told. They know. I think they know. It's just that we are not supposed to know. And they probably two options with the Nord Stream. They refused to come out and say it was the Russians, or because they said, well, it's too, okay? Or they said, instead of saying that, we just keep our mouths shut. And that's where we are with that. So let's go back to Germany. So if Germany would have not cut the supply from Russia of gas and oil and would not participate in this, all this embargo, if you want, or sanctions, they would have been okay, I would guess, or at least much better than where they are right now. Why? Because they would have been able, if they were independent, they would have been able to buy cheaper gas, cheaper oil, and not disrupt anything else. But since they are signatory of, how do you call that, enslavement, I would call it, then there you have them. And they have nothing in between their legs, they're just flat, like that. Then what do you expect? I'm talking about Germany. Yes, Germany. I'm very upset about it because I like Germany, I like the German culture, I like the German people. And unfortunately, they are led by some weasels, and they are, how should I put it, saddled by the Americans since 1945, and they would not let go. So that's how you got here. The pandemic and all that, that's a different story. I don't get into it. But this thing with the war in Ukraine, I think it could have been prevented, avoided, and maybe, I mean, I understand Germany could not, wouldn't have been able to say, no, I'm not participating. Look, what happens with Germany right now is crucified because they are, should we give them Leopard 2 tanks, should we allow? And they are put on the wall, or on the cross, or against the wall, however you want to call it, for that. Imagine that Germany would have declined the invitation to participate in the sanctions and all this BS. Not good. I mean, I don't see how Germany could have stayed outside of all this. I don't even know. So yeah, when you, Germany, become independent and sovereign, you let me know. Before that, you're going to be dragged wherever the handler of the broom gets you in the room. You know, choo choo choo, choo choo choo, tosses you in a corner, needs you again, gets you, choo choo choo, maybe sticks you in his ass a little bit and go from there. So yeah, that's what's the situation here. And I'm sorry that all this is going to fall on the taxpayers. The taxpayers. Germany gets loans right now, I think about $200 billion or euro loans or something to pay for energy shortages, because now they buy all the energy at a premium price. That's how it is. And that's one thing. And you have shortages. When you have shortages, you have to downgrade certain things. Anyway, my friends, I feel sorry for Germany. And remember, that's a lot of money Germany lost and is about to lose. And not only that, because you lose money is one thing, but you lose yourself, you lose your identity, you lose your, how should I put it, your entity. You are like a servant or slash, what else, right there on the plantation. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.